one really amazing thing is that, David, is that we got to celebrate Betty coming to our family not too long ago. We got to go through your adoption celebration, which is awesome. And that was something that your mom and dad worked super hard for, as well as Ansley and Titus. One of my favorite things about Titus is when he decided to do a fundraiser and he ran a race to help bring his sister home because he was really excited about that. Being a Sharpie is pretty awesome because your mom, Jessica, she is a rescuer. Jessica is someone who, when she was little, like Monica's age and Ansley's age, you were always bringing home baby dolls and animals and things to love and take care of. Yes?
I love you, dog.
I know. Me too. And as an adult, there's nowhere on this earth that you wouldn't go to bring a family member home. And I love that in your heart, you have such a big heart and you always make room for your family. I think that's amazing. And for Adam, when I asked everybody what their favorite thing was about you, they said that you made them laugh. And that's definitely one of my favorite things about you, but when I thought about you, I thought you were a restorer, because there's nowhere on this world that you won't go to bring home an old piece of junk and turn it into something awesome.
You're Ken.
Yeah, there we go.
Like that doll, that creepy doll.
Mrs. Beasley.
I forgot about Mrs. Beasley.
But I love that you have a lot of creativity and you bring a lot of joy to our family, and joy is something that can help heal a broken heart and something that can bring
Broken heart?
yes, and can bring strength to our family. So I just think that's awesome. And Gigi, it's like you've been added to our family because I've gotten to know you a lot better this year. And I just wanted to appreciate what an amazing fighter you are. You're somebody who has gone through a lot of change this year, but you've done it with a lot of courage and a lot of strength and a lot of spirit.
Can you
And
cry?
I think that's amazing. And Dad and Mom, this has been a bit of a tough year. I know there was a couple different difficult goodbyes. I know saying goodbye to Papa was difficult. But through that difficult experience, Dad, you were what you always are. You were our family's rock. And the thing that I love about you is that you are the cornerstone of our family. And when you had the choice on what foundation you were going to build this family, you chose to build it on love. And you give us things that you didn't have, and you say yes to us every time you can. And I just love that you serve our family with strength and with consistency, and I just appreciate you. And Mom, I know this has been a year where you had to walk a path that you probably don't ever want to have to walk again. And I'm glad I got to go through part of that with you. I wish I could have been there more. But I love to travel with you because you are an adventurer. And I love that you bring a sense of meaning to every part of life. Even in small tasks, you always make it seem important because you have a faith in God and you believe that He will work all things together for good. And I just love that whatever we're doing, there's always that question underneath it, I feel like comes from you, which is like, what if we could be more? What if we could be more than conquerors? And that makes life an adventure. And I will be able to share that with you. And Steve, it's been a real privilege this year to get to watch you accomplish some major goals, to watch you win your election was amazing, and I'm just so impressed by your strength and by your discipline. I think you are one person that I know that I would bet on to win anytime, any day, because when you put your mind to something, you absolutely do it, and I think that's remarkable. You are our defender. You keep us safe from all the things in the world that are trying to hurt us, and you feel a lot of that. You feel the brunt of a lot of that. And I think the greatest strength that you have is to be able to go through the day, and even when there's hard days, you come home and then you love your kids with kindness and gentleness. And that ability to stay soft and to love your family is such a strength of yours, and I really appreciate that. You and Carl have just been such an encourager to me, and this year you've been willing to come out extra weeks to help us when we needed extra help. And I think for me, you represent the part of Scripture that says that love hopes all things, because you just bring a sense of optimism and kindness to our family. And Carl, I love that you are a philosopher, that you are always asking questions, that there's no subject that's not worth researching, no matter how trivial it may be. But I love that the color that adds to our family, and I love that you are always ready to help, and you do it with patience, and you do it with kindness, and you do it without anybody asking you, and I just thank you so much for that. And JD, even though he's not here, I just wanted to recognize him too, and to say that the word that Mom always has described JD as is peace, or the peacemaker, which may not necessarily be the first thing that always comes to mind, but he's walked through some very difficult times, and he always comes out on the other side. And somehow I think when he's in the prison and the jail, and he's able to help some other people who haven't had an easy life, he might really just be the best person to encourage them in ways that maybe other people would not be able to. So we have a lot of amazing people in our family. And if we all could just have a little bit of the gifts that each of us have, we'd be one rocking person. So then I have a quick story to tell, and then we'll be ready to go, okay? Yes, and then you get to. Okay, ready? So here's the story. Do you know that today, until this evening anyway, is the first day of Hanukkah? Hanukkah. It rhymes with Hanukkah. Yeah. Hanukkah. So, Hanukkah's not something that we usually celebrate, but I thought maybe this year it'd be kind of fun to tell this story because it definitely relates to Christmas. So I'm going to tell you a little story. Okay. Ready? This was 2,500 years ago.
Titus, that's a good story.
2,500 years ago, Titus, and there was a guy named Alexander the Great. He was a conqueror,
Mama,
and he gathered, what baby?
is this a banana?
Yeah. He gathered an army bigger than the world had ever seen, and he conquered this huge portion of the Eastern world. He built the biggest empire ever that the world had seen. But the thing is, then Alexander the Great died. And in his place, there were a bunch of different leaders that rose up. And some of them were trying to create new dynasties and become new kings. And some of these people did it through force, by fighting. They had all kinds of armies with special skills. Some people tried to use thought and reason and just being super smart. And some people tried to use the name of God to establish their power. And in fact, there was this one guy named Antiochus. Yes. And he, like a giant, he was a crazy dude. So Antiochus was the king of Syria, and he decided that he was going to be the greatest. In fact, he didn't even like the name Antiochus anymore. He wanted to be called Epiphanes. And Epiphanes means God appearing, or God is with us. That's how cool he thought he was. But what Epiphanes didn't know is that behind his back, people had another nickname for him, they called him Epimanes. And Epimanes means the crazy dude. So this guy was not a great guy. He was selfish, he was mean, he killed people who disagreed with him, he stole from the temple, and he destroyed things that got in his way. You sound like a giant over there. I know. So, this is a time when there's a lot of darkness, and people didn't know what they were going to do. Epimanes went into the temple, and he destroyed the temple of the Jews, and they were devastated. They didn't know what they were going to do. I think so. But then, there was in all of this dark time, there was a spark of light. Me too. You love a spark of light for your birthday? Okay, me too. So what happened was the Jews decided that they wanted their temple back. And so they rallied a giant army and they drove out the Syrians and they drove out Epiphany out of their temple. But then there was a group of Jews who were traitors and they would rather be under Epiphanes than the Jewish people. And so another group of people had to go and drive them out. And this is what they said. They said, "Let us fight unto death in the defense of our souls and of our temple." It's not good. I agree, giant is not good. So at the end of the day, they got to celebrate a great celebration when the Jews got their home back and they got their temple back. And they were so excited they wanted to light the candles as soon as the temple was cleaned up. But they only had enough oil prepared for one day. But the thing is, once they lit those lights were always supposed to be lit all the time. But they couldn't wait. They couldn't wait for more oil to be prepared. So they lit the lights, and a miracle happened. Instead of being lit for one day, they were lit for 8 days, which was enough time to get new oil so that the lights never actually had to go out. And that was Hanukkah. Yes! But the remarkable thing about Hanukkah is that this was a celebration that even Jesus celebrated. So in the book of John, he is teaching, he's standing on the very temple that had been destroyed and had been restored. And he says, "I am the good shepherd. I know my own sheep, and my sheep know me. And in the same way, the Father knows me, and I know the Father, because I put my sheep before myself, sacrificing myself as necessary.